Hey, Rebels. So today, Spirit would like for you to know that you're going to be okay. You ever have one of those mornings where you wake up and you just feel that you're in mourning? Not necessarily meaning the time of day, the portion of the day, but just that there's some unfortunate things happening. Realistically, we have to come to the understanding that there's always unfortunate things happening. And that unfortunately, those things are in alignment to be as they are. The obstacles that someone else's presence or the lack thereof can bring into another's life. The value, the disappointment, the acceptance, the need to be able to see beyond their own understanding thus far. Spirit said you're going to be okay, regardless of what's happening. But the most important message is sometimes and oftentimes you are the reason for your own defeat. Looking over your life, there has been so many other choices that you could have made. There's always this feeling of an understanding of, if I would have known then, would I know now? How different my life would have been. If that's a mistake of a comment, that is definitely a mistake of a remark. Because if you would have known then what you know now, there is a lot of lessons that you would have never got the opportunity to have been met with. And understanding that most of the lessons that got you to even the point that you're at now have been painful, have been full of agony. You felt that if others would have loved you or cared for you or guided you differently, that they could have been prevented, that those memories could have been avoided. But had you not went through those experiences, had you not had those disappointments and connections, those disappointments with yourself, how else would your thick skin get to the extent that it is now? How else would your muscle memory bring you back in so quickly to recall and be able to read and register the energy of not just the world, not just people, but of yourself, to be able to create those boundaries that you love so much, that protect you, that sometimes you even compromise with yourself in conversations of, why did I have to be this way? Was this necessary? Why did you even do it to yourself? Why did you not care for yourself more then as you do now? It's because you did not have the expansion of your mind to be able to see the world for what it is. Then, because you have to remind yourself, back then you were in such a delusional state of the programming. You were in such a delusional state of being disciplined by others and their fear that they weaponized yourself against you to create you to be who they needed you to be for their comfort. And now is your time for further expansion, to parent yourself, to see how much of an adult you really are. No longer coddling yourself through those situations that you once called trials and tribulations, but that you are now meeting the days of your testimony. And just as you were back then, unsure of those voices, where they were coming from, those voices that was in your head, that energy that felt that it was holding you and pulling you out of harm's way. Spirit is constantly reminding you that they are there within you, around you, and that you're going to be okay. Your energy is shifting in such a miraculous way that once upon a time, you stuck around, you asked questions, even when you knew and you felt in yourself that there was so much not right, that your relatability with someone was dissipating. But now, even before you leave the situations with others, you can tell, you can feel there's just something that shows you, even before you leave, that things aren't okay with them, with their relationship with you. You can tell based upon how their lives change right before your eyes so suddenly, that they have not done right by you. And even worse, they're not doing right by themselves, towards themselves, with and amongst themselves. That same message can be delivered so strictly towards you, but you have gotten to a place where you know better. You feel a little crumble. You hear it even though the rest of the world doesn't feel the earth shake the way you do. The rest of the world doesn't feel that warning to take heed to, and they caution at you and immediately call you crazy, to not see beyond the veil as you do. How it handicaps them without them even knowing. And the same doubt that they resonate you with as and for, it's the same place where you once were before you took this spiritual journey, before you accepted this path, before you accepted the truth of understanding traveling this road alone was ultimately meaning that you were going to be misunderstood, that you would continue to receive labels that you would accept, and labels that you knew people were just tossing at you just because they did not know what else to say. The verbal abuse and attempts that you constantly find yourself in the presence of, that paints the world to be so scary, and the realization that you have had to come to understand that this world is such a mess that you cannot fix it all, nor can you do it all yourself, nor would you ever attempt to, because you have come to this place of realizing, you can only do your part. And by doing your part, you understand that means that you have only the control and the authority and the knowing of yourself, of how things will work out depending on your choices that you abide by now, going forward, and taking accountability for your reactions in the past, your behavior, what you did not understand, what you did not know, the warnings that you did not take heed to because of the messenger, the warnings that you did not take heed to because of how many times you were willing to get away with something and felt that was your rite of passage, to be able to have that be your destruction whenever it was time to catch you, whenever it was time to catch up to you. Living that way, you learned that in due time things catch up to you. They oftentimes do, in the way that it decides to present itself to you, whether it be through your children, whether it be through your family, whether it be you having to be an onlooker of someone else's unexpressed agony, whether it be in the opposite forms of projection from the lack of discipline that you chose to label as fun, to label as your right because of your unfortunes, because of what you weren't blessed with. And despite it all, Spirit is so proud of you, because the way that you have turned your life around, investing in your internal understanding and knowing that externally the judgment was just waiting on you. There's so many waiting on you to see you as the evidence of no longer being a part of their community, no longer being relatable. They felt that you switched up, and obviously you have. You are not the same, though there's not much about you that looks different, because it's all coming from within, and it's reaching far and wide. People see you coming miles away. They feel your energy. They know that there is something special about you. There is so much envy. There is so much jealousy. There is so much cause of others wanting to set you in a place for you to feel that you have been abandoned. And they are none the wiser of why they feel this. You have learned and understood that your triggers are assisting your boundaries, that your triggers are assisting you in understanding you, who you are, your responsibility to self. Though others have assisted by creating those triggers and those traumas in you, of you, you understand, you accept the responsibility of yourself. And understanding that you are your own. You are the making of your own self. And so therefore your triggers, your feelings, your viewpoint, what you've been through, what you will go through, your past that is only lived within memory, your present, which is only lived within your actions and your reflections, your future, which is your responsibility to build and create and make sure that you do not jeopardize the stability of your foundation. It is all the responsibility of no one but you. How someone else makes you feel triggers your warnings of you and what needs to be worked on. And so when you look at your conversational formats with others now, understanding that they know not of what you mean when you address that you feel triggered. You yourself are responsible for that internal awareness of knowing that you being triggered means that you have more work to do with you. And that if you remove others or their being, their presence, or even limit their being and their presence from you, it doesn't always mean that there's something wrong with them, but more so meaning that your energy, your life, your livelihood can no longer support their choice, their way of being. The beautiful heart that you have to no longer see others' lack, others' wounding, others' triggers, their traumas, to not see that as entertainment, but to see it as how you will be jeopardizing yourself to struggle and trying to explain to them what is meant by something that they have yet to allow themselves to be willing to comprehend, to understand, to accept as a reality of a perspective, of a lifestyle beyond materialism being the evidence. Your heart, your mind, the collaboration of the logic meeting with your feelings. The testimony that you have that it seems that no one can comprehend your language to be able to ever hear. Spirit needs you to know that you are not alone. You are understood. Though the pain, the agony, the strain of desire that you have to share with others, to let them know who you are, what happened for you to become and be able to be. Spirit understands you completely. And though they warned you that this journey, this path, was going to be a lonely one, they want you to remind yourself to feel in your heart space. Do not let your logic overpower your feelings. What it is that you feel even when you mourn. Because your time and your period of mourning is in regards to you forgiving yourself. It is in regards of you safeguarding and protecting yourself from those who do not understand, for those who are looking and seeking for a quick fix, for those who are looking and seeking entertainment and attention and not to be alone, to live within quick connections. And they dismiss hearing themselves and feeling themselves confirmation. Dismiss feeling themselves. They avoid themselves so strongly with the distraction that is the attention and connection of not just you, but that is the distraction, the attention and connection that they look immediately for within others. You've sat with yourself. You dealt with your shit. You felt the pain of what it was like to pull away from what you used to tolerate, to look at something that in someone that you love so much, in your believing that you love them so much, but to feel that pain, that agony, that remorse of realizing that what you were loving and attached to was codependency, was abuse. Maybe not in the definition form, but in the energetic understanding of yourself, of that what's for them is not for you. And that to be forced to connect in such ways that you no longer align with is abuse to yourself. Spirit needs you to see you to know you, to continue to be responsible for yourself, even when it does not make sense to anyone else. And if all that energy that you just felt, everything that clicked through your mind, Spirit said, like to hear it, here it go. So, in your read today, Spirit wants you to share those memories with yourself. Teach yourself about you. Continue to learn about you. That phrase, that comment of each one teach one. Each era, ERA, of yourself that you have met on your timeline, that you have become, that you have let go of, whatever you did with yourself. Spirit said, teach yourself about you so that you can continue to mind a business that is of your own. That oftentimes you have to remember when you hear about flying monkeys, when you hear about karmics, they're a reflection of yourself and who you once were or who you are continuing to be. And you need to check yourself, evaluate yourself, do inventory of yourself. How do you still connect in those spaces? Because everybody has a ratchet fairy tale about things that they've done that they're not proud of, things that happened that they ignored because they didn't want to talk about it, because they weren't ready. The Spirit said, this is about you. None of us are perfect, though we were born imperfections, even if we were preemies. Just the innocence of our souls, the innocence of our spirits, the innocence up until you learn that ultimatums, what a triggering word. Ultimatums were choices. Ultimatums are choices. And how long have you heard people say, I don't do ultimatums? If you don't do ultimatums, that means that you are indecisive. That means that you are controlling. That means that you are willing to stand back, stand still, and watch someone else fill themselves up with pressure and make an abusive choice towards themselves, which you introduced them to. So look at how far you've come, rebels. What ultimatums have you been avoiding of yourself? Because Spirit said that this is a call to action. It's time to be one with the pause, to reflect on yourself, to reflect with yourself, to practice your breathing, to ground yourself, to center yourself. Said, uncenter the outcome, to live life. Call to justice. You have come so far to turn back or to stand still. You have come too far to not feel that you have every reason to proceed forward. And I hope that at some point in time, you have decided to pause this video and widen up the screen. If you wanted to pick a number, if you wanted to have all the numbers that is resting amongst this table, I'm going to tell you, with 333 here in front of you and behind the scene, you are indubitably supported. Spirit wants you to live and rule over yourself in truth, joy, happiness, and everything that you learned and everything that you have planted, that you are going to plant, that you have planted. Oh my goodness, the belly is going. You have been such a blessing to work with. The courage that you have found in yourself that you never knew was there. Because this isn't the courage and the audacity of the lifestyle that you once lived. This is the courage and audacity that everyone, everything, and every hellish type of sense of evidence that will fall out someone's ass was trying to prove to you that you would never be able to live, that you will never love yourself in a way of understanding what true love is, to be able to put it in the words, and fuck the words, but to be able to see it in effort. You have been loving yourself in such a beautiful form of effort, and that is love. The commitment to your efforts, the commitment to your self-discovery, and doing no harm to others. Because just as your triggers are your responsibility, just as your triggers are of your own, and no one said they were of your own making, though a percentage of that pie is of your own making. Because you didn't listen. And now you have learned to listen. You didn't want to feel, but now you are learning to be able to label those feelings, to be able to identify those feelings, to be able to communicate with your brain and your heart. One feels, one thinks, one wanders, one drifts, and to be able to pull it all back in and have a meeting at that table that is yours and say, what are we to do with this? What are we to do now? What can we handle? What can we bear? What do we dare to do with this new information? Because in order to really create from a new spiritual place, in order to have, in order to see, in order to live, you have to dare responsibly to live and to be you, to coexist with your fear and humbleness, to coexist in the likeness of understanding that what has been given can also be taken away. That includes people, places, ideas, ideologies, circumstances. All that has been given can and will eventually be taken away. But the thing about it is that it's always the order of how it will happen, in which it happens, that we can never quite lay our finger on. Because the order that things happen in, the order that we give, the order that we receive, the cause, the meaning, the purpose, the understanding of definitions across the way, it's out of our control. You can speak a word to your partner, but it registers for you differently than it ever will for them. This is the reason why communication is important. This is the reason why Spirit needed you to understand how important your emotions are to the words that you hear, to the feeling of existence. Spirit say also as well, for those of you who have yet to understand what this rumbling and the tumbling is about, this stomach growl is about, fasting is so important, especially in this day and age, an era of you. We live in a world where we don't even understand what it is that we're eating. Visually, we see it for what our mind has told us it is. But we have no clue of what we are actually consuming. Even when it comes down to the soil that we are planting our seeds in, the soil of ourself, our internal self, our mental, our mind state. Yes, we understand the mud that we got ourselves out of, the mud that we come from, that quicksand that did have us for a certain period of time. Though, when it comes to the food that nourishes our body, that is supposed to nourish our body, that is supposed to influence our body, that does influence our body, but we are misunderstanding the direction because we don't know of the meats, of the animals, and the journey of the fruits and the vegetables and the nuts and the everything that it has been through. Spirit said fast. Fasting is important to get more in tune with you. Just like that common phrase that, started years ago about being hangry. How do you deal in your anger, in your frustration? And this is why Spirit would like for you to start fasting. Start fasting often. And so if ever you are in the terminologies of what they would call hangry, you are no longer hangry. And for those of you who do not know what hangry is, it's a concept of being hungry and being angry because you're hungry. So that way, by fasting and getting in tune with yourself, being hangry to start with, you understand how your body responds, how your mental collaborates with the rest of your body. When you resist giving your body with restraint, resist giving your body what it is that it was told that it was meant to yearn for. Though we don't know what food is out here that's being consumed, Spirit would like for you to fast in the understanding of getting in tune with your energy, your emotions, the messages that are coming across to you, to be able to hear and feel yourself and understanding clearly. So if ever the time did come that you would have to go certain periods without food and consumption, you will be able to make wise choices. You will be able to see yourself and others clearly. And they can no longer say it's because you are angry. So, back in touch with you. Reading across the board. Blessing in disguise. Support. Good fortune. Light up. Also, I'm hearing lighten up. Good luck to you. And I'm also hearing happy trails to you until we meet again. Intuition. Taking the initiative. Commit. Good luck. Act on your ideas. You have met this point and place and position in your life where you are being guided to block out envy, jealousy, and any form of abandonment because you have you, because you can trust in you now. Even if you feel like you are only halfway there, you can trust in you now. You have to be able to trust in you. That's Spirit said the best part of the pie oftentimes is the crust. I agree. To change the way that you see the flow of your life, your self-realization, to realize that there are unexpected things that are going to happen on this path of resourcing yourself. There's a change that is coming in so new and so soon for you that it's going to knock you off your feet. It's going to sweep you off of the ground in such a blissful way. It is time for you to stop chasing what you lack and feel the pull of the energy that is calling out to you. And this is another reason why fasting is important. Because when you are hungry for attention, when you are hungry for a certain energy, it is so easy for you to get discouraged and knocked off your path and say, where did you lose? And ask, where did you lose yourself? It is so easy for you to get discouraged and have your attention drawn in directions that you weren't even supposed to be looking in. Spirit said that this overall message is about grounding yourself, feeling yourself, knowing yourself. Because with everything that is happening in the universe, including in connection with this planet, there is so much projection. There is so much projection. And there is so much that is being accepted by you that is not your weight to carry, that is not your responsibility, that though you understand it is not meant for you to stop and lick those wounds and attend to those habits or guide others in a direction or assist them even. Because you have to live responsibly in your truth, getting in touch with yourself in the spiritual realm that you come from, the likeness that you are feeling pulling you to meet your future self, the being, the creation of you, your Holy Trinity is saying to you, God hears prayers and complete what he starts. This is a time for you to open up your heart and communicate honestly with yourself and your partnerships. You know what it is that your partnerships can handle. You know how to communicate with them. And yes, there's this thing of omission. Do not lie of omission. Do not lie from omission. But you have to realize the distraction that omission can be if you did not apply it. Everything will work out in your favor. It's a promise. It's a promise. From whom? From yourself. You reside in your fear. Everything that you have created up until this point has been created from your fear. The good, the bad, and the truthful has been created from your fear, has been influenced by your fear. So you need to understand we live in a life of duality. Everything that's good can also be bad, but it's always about how you resonate with it. Just as this message is for educational entertainment and the purpose of how you resonate with it, what you choose to abide by. This world has really done a number on you. And the number is becoming to be your favorite tune. Because the way that you love, the way that you exist, could not have happened without everything that you've been through. So Spirit said, evaluate those masks that you've carried around with yourself. Live peacefully in your creativity. Every part of you has a purpose. So do understand that even the parts of you that you feel that you left behind were not meant for you to abandon in completion. The parts of you that you felt that you left behind are a resource to you. So mourn and grieve. Mourn and grieve the way that you felt that you had to be. The way that you thought life was going to work out. And while you're mourning and grieving, Spirit said, celebrate yourself. So it reads, the restlessness or emptiness you may be experiencing is not a sign of something being wrong in your life, but rather a gentle reminder that there is more of you waiting to be experienced. Appearances can be deceiving. Before making a commitment to a relationship or situation, pump the brakes, examine closely, and gather more information to truly understand the situation. Solitude. Try not to absorb any more external energy. And carve out some essential alone time to give you a chance to experience and discover who you really are as an individual. Wise ruler, you've been hiding in the shadows for far too long. It's time to stand your ground about what is important to you and forge a path in that direction. This might involve shedding unhealthy habits. Let's put that right there. Freedom. Let go of dependency that hinders your ability to live your best life. Don't limit yourself out of fear. That there might not be anything better for you just because you can't see it at the moment. Do not limit yourself out of fear that there may not be anything better for you just because you can't see it in the moment. So rebels, we gonna get you this message. Go back to the heart of who you truly are. There you will find peace. Look at your life in its entirety. Acknowledge any old wounds and then release them. Use what they taught you as added strength. Keep moving forward with a renewed sense of confidence. Honey, that was the top card. We're going to pull another one. What's the next top card? It says Ant, perseverance. This is a message of patience. Whatever is going on right now, you cannot be so impulsive. But, by pacing yourself. apologies. It says this is a message of patience. Wherever, whatever is going on right now, you cannot be so impetuous. Don't know that word. By pacing yourself, the end results will be far more rewarding. Slow down, don't rush, work carefully, and learn to accept help from others. So I'm going to put that right there because I'm going to Google that word, honey. All right. So, Spirit, is there anything else that you want them to know before we let the rebels go on about their way? You are safe. Isn't that an important message? It says, you are safe. I am Archangel Michael, I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home. You're going to put that right there with 777. Good luck. I'm so eager and anxious to see what this is going to give us. So we're going to do a little quick tarot run. A little quick tarot run. Six of Cups. Hangman. I'm sorry, the Hang One. The Hang One. Love that. The Lovers. And at the bottom of the deck, energy, you have the Four of Pentacles. All right, so what we have here, Spirit said this is a time of choosing yourself. You have to make a choice. And the choice is already rooted in you. You will always choose yourself, regardless of how the choice feels for you. So Spirit is asking that you choose better for yourself. So even when you're choosing someone else, you're making a choice for yourself. But this Lover's card has everything to do with you. Here, you see a tree, yet all the roots stem from the same place. So whatever portion of yourself, whatever era of yourself you seem to have the most trouble at, the decisions that you made, the choices, do better with choosing yourself. With the overall energy here being the Four of Pentacles, you will find better, abundant stability. Just stop blocking yourself. Realize wherever you are abundant. Realize whatever you go through, you are abundant. This is not a competition of you and others. This is not a competition of you and someone else. This is all in regards to you. You are not even in a competition with yourself. That whole concept of, you know what, I'm competing with myself to be better than I was tomorrow. Well, better than I was yesterday. Yeah, you do that. Realize how much you are overlooking. Even as responsible as you expect for your readers to be, to take the time and the patience to feel the energy, to read the energy, to not misguide you. But you ultimately have to be able to do the same for yourself. Your discernment. How are you educating yourself in regards of you? I feel that I read that word on this ant card as impulsiveness, because there is a lot of impulsive energy around you to get it done now, to rush, to hurry. You setting certain deadlines for yourself because this time next year you want it to look like. When this time next year you can look back on today and you can realize how much you overlooked. Remember the beginning of the message. If you would have known then what you know now, you do not want that to be the statement that you make this time around next year of if I would have known then what I knew now, to not be so impulsive, to take my time, to be patient with myself, to trust with myself. Trust in yourself. Be patient with yourself. Don't be so impulsive. If someone needs you to make a decision right now, and it's not the best decision for you, don't make it. If someone tries to pressure you to make a choice right now, I don't do ultimatums. Do you do ultimatums anymore? Or do you know how to speak up for yourself and understand that at times, you require time? Now let's look at ultimatums differently. Can we see ultimatums are actually pressure? Ultimatums are actually peer pressure. Ultimatums are actually a rush choice and decision in indecision. So if you're still here, Spirit definitely wants you to understand something that has not been spoken throughout this whole reading. The Six of Cups. Spirit wants you to look at the give and take of communication differently. That once upon a time when you were younger, and even now as an adult, at whatever age, delightful age you are here to be blessed with, you were shown, you were expected, you were abused in a sense of reaction. That when someone asked you a question, you were expected to have an immediate answer. Yes, that's reactive abuse. So if someone asks you, hey, for example, what do you want to eat? They expected for you to answer right then and there, or else you're not going to eat. Someone asks you, hey, what do you want to do with your life? They expected you to have an answer right then and there, or else you ain't going to be shit. Let's look at ultimatum like that. Let's understand that underhanded ultimatum being, if you don't right now, you just won't. Spirit said, trust yourself. Allow yourself time. Respect yourself enough to know that anyone who respects you will allow you the time to be able to think of what your honest truth is, what your honest answer is, and not live in reflective or reactive abuse. That reflective abuse of, man, I remember when I didn't do this, they left me. I remember when I did that, they hit me. Spirit said, trust yourself that what's meant for you will be there. What loves you will understand, will respect you, will honor you. This message overall is about you being with the balls, to see you, to love you, to understand you, to make the healthiest, best choice for you, to parent yourself wisely. No decision is a decision, but an indecision is a worse decision. So sit and pause with your choices. Love you, know you, and get to know you. Rebels, I love you, but I'm really got to set you on your way. There's your last card. Embrace your reality. Get back to it. Go make your life do what it needs to do for you. Go Rebels.